Hey everybody, coming back at you today. I've got a couple TTMs that have come in over the last couple days, and then a few catching up from earlier in the year that have just gotten lost in the shuffle because of my crazy life this year. But without further ado, we are going to start with Carroll Stream, Illinois. And it is Mr. Don Paul right there in that 1990 top. So that is a point for the free-for-all. And man, this 1990 top set just keeps growing on me. I really like the look of it. It just screams 90s. And there he is on a 92 upper deck. And that's Mr. Don Paul in 25 days. Next up, out of Kansas City, Missouri, is Mr. Jim Eisenreich. Again, there on that 1990 tops. And on the 92 tops, Mr. Eisenreich came back in 22 days. So that is another point for the free-for-all. And we'll move right along here to Greensboro, North Carolina. And little note back to me, my note, and it's Mr. Chuck Bown there on that Trax, which is a 94. And I really prepped this 93 Max Chrome, and the autograph didn't stick on there real well, but it's okay. Still point for the free-for-all. And we'll keep moving right along. Oh, and Chuck Bown came back in 33 days. So these are some ones that came back earlier this year that, again, I'm just catching up on. First up, maybe a controversial figure, but I just thought it was cool to get, and that's Mr. Ralph Nader. Mr. Nader, presidential, ran for president back when, I believe in the 90s there. And I just thought it was cool to get him. I know he's getting up there in age, so got Mr. Nader back in 328 days. Next up, right there on that index card, you can tell it's Verne Lundquist. I just thought that was a pretty cool picture here to get signed with his name in the back. Mr. Lundquist, a lot of people know for the Olympics and for the PGA Tour. I think has a great voice. And worked a lot with Bill Rafferty, I believe, for basketball. And it was pretty cool to get Verne Lundquist back. And that was in 24 days. Next up is NASCAR champion and Daytona 500 winner, Kurt Busch. Just thought that was a really cool photo there to get signed. A lot of white. And Monster being a big sponsor of his. And here's another one of those pre-Daytona 500 photos that I love. And again, lots of room up top to sign. Just love that look. There's Mr. Kurt Busch. And that was in 34 days. And last but not least tonight, I am so thrilled to get this back. And I don't know if I can get it back far enough. Right there, Mr. Doug Gilmour. Standing right here. Doug Gilmour is probably my second favorite Toronto Maple Leaf player ever, and second favorite hockey player ever, behind guy standing next to him there, Felix Potvin. Doug Gilmour is a Stanley Cup champion with the Flames, two-time All-Star, Hockey Hall of Famer, and as the great Red Green once said, best day of his life was when the Leafs signed Doug Gilmour, and the second best day of his life is when the Leafs got Dougie Gilmour back. But I am super thrilled to have this. Love it that it's got the Maple Leaf Gardens patch. on the jersey there. Again, hockey photos, lots of white, and it just turned out spectacular. Had another photo that he signed, but that was a gift for a friend, and I just gave that to him the other day. And man, I am just absolutely floored by this. I got to meet Mr. Gilmour probably 8 or 9 years ago. He was at a hockey game in Hershey up in the press box, and I just happened to be standing in the right place and walked by me, and I got to chat with him a little bit. But again, Mr. Doug Gilmour, and I'm going to sign off using, since I've already quoted Red Green once, I'll sign off with the same way the great Red Green signs off, and that is, keep your stick on the ice.